Alright, and I'm back for round four, and it looks like we are going to be able to play a match. So I'm on the draw this game, and this hand is really good, so let's go ahead and keep it. We can play Roots on turn two, and then turn three, Anafenza and Ooze, and then we have a Quarter Calling as well. So we do have some sweet plays available to us. We do have to fetch for a white source with Windswept Teeth, though, so that we can cast Anafenza. Probably Godless Shrine, but we'll see how the game plays out in what we draw. Like if we draw Forest, certainly changes things a bit, etc. Like if I draw Forest on turn one, I'm playing Windswept Heath for Godless Shrine, first turn of the game. Go from there probably. Actually, I'd probably just still play the Temple Garden because who knows what we would draw, but we'll see how the game plays out, what our opponent does. Um, Unfortunately, our opponent is playing a little slowly. Hopefully, that's not going to be true for the entire match, but maybe it is. All right, Wooded Foothills. Probably mono red style deck. Like I feel like a Goblin Guide or something. Faithless Looting. Okay. Is this like Gorya's Vengeance? This ooze will be really good if it is. This might be Dark Blast, Godless Shrine. Okay. So feels very much like a. We drew Malira. Malira doesn't help us that much because we have Anafenza, but all right. This feels like a Loam style strategy here. Just dredged Dark Blast. Okay, so we're definitely looking at Loam. Hmm. The issue with playing a creature is that if we get smallpox, it's really bad. I kind of feel like we're gonna get smallpoxed. So part of me just wants to actually just cast Malira like this. Really just to play around getting smallpoxed here. It may seem like a really awkward play, but smallpox would actually destroy us if we played the Wall of Roots and the Windswept Teeth. So next turn, what we can actually do is just play Wall of Roots and Anafenza. Uh, so we're not like yeah. So here's the smallpox, um, and I think we just discard probably the red cap. Yeah, we'll discard the red cap, sack the Malira, and get rid of that Gavany. All right, so we definitely made the right play in the face of a smallpox. And then now here, we'll just get a Godless Shrine, play Wall of Roots, and hopefully we don't get smallpoxed again. That would be pretty devastating for us. Uh, Dredge is another Dark Blast. Oh, discarded the Dark Blast to the... Alright, so Dark Blast has been dredged again. And our opponent doesn't have another land, which is sweet. We drew Eternal Witness, which is also pretty sweet. Um, yeah, I'm not actually worried about our opponent's graveyard right now. And I think that we really just want to ensure that we don't miss any more land drops. So I'm actually going to cast Eternal Witness here to return Windswept Heath. That way we know we're not gonna miss land drops. And we can actually chord here as well, which is pretty sweet. And there's the Dark Blast. Oh, yeah, we're not gonna be able to chord because um, this thing's gonna get Dark Blasted, so which is fine. And opponent chose to naturally draw over Dredging Dark Blast this time. Drew Faithless Looting. Okay. Discarded Loam and Bloodghast, it looks like. Oh, no, Dredge Dark Blast for the first draw. Okay. And then it's discarding... Didn't Dredge Loam for the second draw, though. But discarded a Dark Blast and a Flame Jab, I guess. And our opponent still doesn't have another land, which is sweet. Let's go ahead and get an Overgrown Tomb. Alright, draw another chord. Alright, so man, we are cording it up. A little chicken chord on blue. Let's go ahead and play Anafenza and then play Ooze. And I think we just bolster on this Anafenza because our opponent's really incentivized to kill the Ooze. And now I actually can chord for 1, which is probably what I'm going to do. We'll see what our opponent does, but I can chord for Viscera. Let's see. Our opponent dredged Life from the Loam, and there's another Faithless Looting. And I could like use Ooze, but I'm not sure like what I even care about oozing at this point. Like I could use Wall Roots to activate Scavenging Ooze, but I don't think that that's what I want to do. Alright, so opponent's bringing back 2 Bloodghast, which I'm actually okay with. As long as our opponent doesn't kill one of our creatures, we're just going to win with these chords, which is pretty sweet. And let's see what happens here. Alright, well, chord time. Let's go ahead and chord for 1 and get a Viscera Seer. Well, our opponent's going to kill something in response, I guess. Probably. And decay the Anafenza. Alright, so now I have to decide if I still get a Viscera. I think I do. Well, let's see. Our opponent only has 1 card left in his hand. We could actually just get a mana creature too. Wouldn't be the worst to get like a bird. Or a Noble Hierarch. And just start beating with this Ooze and using the Ooze, but I don't know. Yeah, I think we're just going to get Viscera Seer and just play this game. We'll see what we draw. Another chord. Wow. Well, we are flush on chords. I think. Let's see. Well, let's see what our opponent's graveyard looks like here. I'm gonna just kind of pop that out and put it over here. So I don't care about Lingering Souls. I'm trying to think what I actually care about in this graveyard. Like I don't, maybe Loam. Like Loam. Because I can exile a card. So I could exile Loam with, because I can use Wall of Roots on my turn on this turn, but I actually don't think I want to kill my wall off yet. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna probably say go. And I don't want to attack with Ooze either because I want to be able to chord with it, and I want to be able to block a Bloodghast if I need to. So I assume our opponent probably dredges a Life from the Loam. Yeah, dredges Loam, and it's really weird. You can't really tell what they hit with it. But let's see. Looks like maybe some Bloodghast are coming in. Nope. Because I can grow the Ooze, so it's not worth attacking. And what is being cast? Flashing back a Faithless Looting. Okay. Yep, that's fine. And our opponent can dredge off this flashback if they want to, but looks like that's not happening. discards a Vengeful Pharaoh and a Life in the Loam, and then shocks on an Overgrown Tomb. Interesting. I wonder if that's like a Dark Blast. Alright, well, let's go ahead and Chord. I kind of want to Chord for Eternal Witness and get back, like, maybe Redcap or Melira or something, or Anafenza. So, let's go ahead and Chord for... Let's Chord for 3. Let's see. Okay, no responses. And yeah, let's just get. I could also just get Anafenza too, which seems better. Yeah, we'll just get Anafenza. And yeah, that seems fine. We'll draw a card. Another land. Alright, well, I think I'm just gonna go for it here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9. We can Chord for Redcap to try to win, but if they kill Viscera here, that kind of sucks. But I think I still am just gonna do that. So it's Chord for Redcap. And leaving, I guess, Ooze untapped. And if our opponent doesn't have something here, this is gonna win the game. Oh no, we have red caps in our graveyard. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Alright, well, Kitchen thinks it is, I guess. I'm gonna put our opponent's graveyard back, because this is getting kind of annoying. And I will add a mana. Let's see. Let's set these triggers. I'm actually gonna add a mana with Walla Roots, so that I can bolster onto the Walla Roots. It seems pretty sweet. And then now we can just start sacrificing Kitchen Finks and going off. And gain a bunch of life. Scry a bunch of times. See what our opponent's doing. Dark Blast Kitchen Finks. Okay. Well, that's fine. Viscera Seer to the bottom. Dark Blast happens. Let's see. We'll bolster 1 onto the Viscera Seer. That's pretty sweet. And we get to scry here and see Kitchen Finks. Yep, that's exactly what we want, so let's put that on top. And then now I have a mana to use, and I think I want to get rid of... Let's see, what do I care about? Dark Blast maybe? I can exile Dark Blast. Or maybe Flame Jab. Since our opponent can't kill any of our guys with Dark Blast, so yeah, let's just exile that Flame Jab. And go from there. And then now next turn I can... yeah, I forgot Red Cap was in my graveyard. That was unfortunate. And yeah, no need to attack because I want to be able to block these Bloodghasts. And see what our opponent does for their draw step. We can pull this back out again, I guess. This is actually kind of an interesting match. We've played a lot of graveyard decks in this daily event. Looks like our opponent just naturally drew a card, so Hopefully nothing too good. Let's see. Probably flashing back a Faithless Looting here. If I had to wager, I guess. Yep. Alright. Flashback of Faithless Looting. That's fine. And discarding 2 cards. Discarded Lingering Souls and a Life from the Loam. And then is Shocking. Okay, to flashback a Lingering Souls. Sure. That's fine. And attacking with 2 Bloodghasts. Alright, well, let's go ahead and eat. Let's see, does our opponent have any creatures? They have Vengeful Pharaoh in their graveyard. Alright, let's go ahead and eat Vengeful Pharaoh. And block one of these Bloodghasts. And alright, let's hide that graveyard again. We're gonna draw Kitchen Finks, which is sweet. We can gain infinite life. And we get to bolster. Alright, and our opponent's just scooping to that. We could also bolster onto Waller Roots. And then we can chord for an Eternal Witness to get our red cap and go from there. But Infinite Life's going to be good enough to get the job done on that board. Alright, so what do we want to have against this Loam deck? Well, Smallpox, Voice Resurgence seems great against the Smallpox aspect of the deck. Sin Collector maybe is okay. Sin Collector's probably fine. And Path seems good. Can exile Bloodghast or Bloodghasts, I guess. Actually, I don't know if we even care about. Do we even care about Bloodghasts? Like, maybe Path's just bad. Yeah, we probably just don't even care about those kinds of cards. So Shriekmaw I don't want. Fiend Hunter seems good against, like, Infestation and stuff, and it blocks. I don't think I want Mirror Entity against in a deck that's trying to attrition us out. I definitely don't want Spellskite. Decay, I still do want Decays. Because Decay kills Zombie Infestation, which is probably one of the best cards. So, yeah, let's go ahead and keep the Decay. What do I cut? Well, I don't want to cut any of my mana, and I want to keep a lot of the combo pieces as well. Maybe I cut like 1 Eternal Witness or 1 Kitchen Finks. Maybe like 1 Kitchen Finks. Although, no, Persist is pretty good against the removal in that deck, so let's cut like 1 Eternal Witness. Actually, that's alright. I figured it out. Let's cut 1 Chord of Calling. It's really hard to cast Chord if he's going to be attacking our mana base. So, yeah, let's trim on chords. Although I don't know. Now that we have like voices and stuff, it's close. Pretty close call. Yeah, we'll stick with the chord getting cut. We'll try this build. I mean, I think this is probably a really good matchup for us. We have oozes, and we have a combo finish, and we don't really get grinded out that well. Kind of like Birthing Pod was really good against that deck before, and it feels like it's the same way now. Well, this is a 0-land hand, so we're definitely locked into mulliganing this. Unfortunately, I probably would keep with 1 land because we can go bird into wall and go from there, but we definitely can't keep with 0. But this hand's pretty good, so we'll keep this one. We are a little loose to Smallpox, though, but it is what it is, so we'll just play an Overgrown Tomb and ship it. Smallpox, well, our opponent got Stomping Grounds, so that bodes well for our odds of getting Smallpoxed. But we'll see what happens this turn. It could be... Oh. Okay, well, we're just going to cast anyway. And if we don't get Smallpox, then Collected Company next turn is going to be really sweet. And if we do get Smallpox, then... Oh well. Okay, we're not getting Smallpox. Sweet. And I played the Township, too, to protect against Smallpox, because I want to sacrifice that as the land over something else. see what it is. Is this decay on wall roots? Oh, it is a decay on wall roots. Okay, cool. um, kind of just want to Eternal Witness back that wall roots. Wall roots is a gas card. So yeah, we're actually just gonna do that. Our opponent's not doing anything, so smallpox. Okay, there's a smallpox. So discard a card. We'll discard a forest. Sack a creature. And I'm gonna sack Gavany Township. Our opponent sacks a swamp. Okay. And discards a Lingering Souls. Okay. So we can go. Ooh, bird. Bird is the word. We can play wall, cast Scavenging Ooze, and then in our opponent's upkeep, we can actually exile. Well, let's actually undo that. Oh, I guess we can't. Well, let's exile Lingering Souls in their upkeep. So our opponent can't flashback a Souls on us. Uh-oh. Well, looks like Dark Blast. Probably Dredge, Dark Blast, and then... Yep. Fetch another Black Source and Dark Blast or Scavenging Ooze again. We probably could have played that better. Oh well. Well, at least we have a pretty sweet play in... Let's cast... Let's cast a bird off of this. And say go. Now we can Collected Company, which seems pretty good. And see if our opponent does Dredge, Dark Blast, probably going to try to kill this bird. Another Tectonic Edge is actually kind of gross too. Well, what's being done? Flashback looting. Sure. It's possible I was supposed to Collected... okay, so Dredged Loam is one of the cards from looting. It's possible I was supposed to Collected Company in response. And discarded Loam and Raven's Crime and is flashing back Lingering Souls. Alright, so let's fetch a Godless Shrine. And I'm paying 2 life because I want to keep my wall around. And I'm doing this because I can get double Tectonic Edged. Ooh. Wonder what our opponent kept in their hand. So I'm definitely getting back Eternal Witness. And I'm either getting Sin Collector or Kitchen Finks. Depends on what's in our opponent's hand. I kind of want to get Sin Collector so I can exile a removal spell so that when I bring back the Scavenging Ooze I can really wreck my opponent's graveyard. So let's try that. Alright, so target our opponent with Sin Collector and target... I could get back Collected Company, but I think Scavenging Ooze is just a better one. And yep, we get to exile Dark Blast. So I guess we should have known that they had Dark Blast in their hand. Draw Verdant Catacombs, sweet. So don't want to attack, but I will cast Scavenging Ooze, and now I want to remove my opponent's ability to do things, so let's exile Life from the Loam. So they can't Dredge Loam. And I don't want to attack because I don't want to just trade these guys for these 2 spirits, so we'll just say go. And I don't think that our opponent has anything that can do anything here, so we'll have to exile this Vengeful Pharaoh before we attack, but so we don't lose to it. But other than that, I think that we're in pretty good shape. That was actually a really good collected company. We've had some awkward ones in this event, but that was a great one. And I want to fetch another non-basic with this so that if we get double tech edged, it doesn't destroy our mana base and our ability to cast spells. And the rest of the cards in this graveyard don't matter, really. Like, some of these lands could matter if our opponent draws Loam, but if they draw a Loam and they try to cast Loam targeting 3 lands, we can just exile those 3 lands in response with Scavenging Ooze, so pretty sweet. We can also gain a life by exiling our Eternal Witness at some point in time. We are down a Township, which sucks. If we draw Eternal Witness, we're probably getting Township. Be a good one to get back. Oh, actually, we probably just get back Collected Company, but whatever. Our opponent has disconnected or gone super into the tank or something. Not sure exactly what's going on here. Our opponent does have 0 cards in hand. 0 ability to do anything. I'm just gonna pause the video until they get back. Alright, and our opponent has returned, so we are back in action. Let's see how this game progresses. It's going to be very hard for our opponent to win from this board state, though. Removal spell and Scavenging Ooze would be probably the perfect way to start. And maybe that's what this is. Tectonic Edge, okay. Let's add a green. And Tectonic Edge, add another green. And our opponent's looking to exit the main phase, so let's exile Vengeful Pharaoh. And let's go ahead and actually exile one of the Tectonic Edges as well. Alright, let's exile the other Tectonic Edge. And then find a Temple Garden. We're just playing around Loam by exiling some of these lands, so we don't get wrecked by more Tectonic Edge action. I don't want to blow my wall to use Scavenging Ooze. That seems pretty loose. Decay. Alright, well, Decay is not going to do a whole lot, but I still don't want to trade these guys off, so we'll just hit with the Scoos. And yeah, I don't want to eat my Witness just in case. I guess if we draw a Witness, we're not gonna. Yeah, I'll just eat my Eternal Witness. If I draw Eternal Witness, I'm not. Did I eat that Vengeful Pharaoh already? Okay. Yeah. If I draw an Eternal Witness, I'm not gonna get back my other Witness, so I think it's fine to eat that one and put a little bit more of a clock on. See what our opponent's line of play is. Oh crap! I'm probably gonna get Ravens crimed. Alright, I actually should have eaten that Ravens crime, so I don't get this decay discarded. could have been bad. And end step, I'll exile. Yeah, I don't want to exile any of my cards. I guess lands at this point since I don't think any of these spells matter, so we'll just hit the basic. We're probably just spinning our wheels with that, but okay, Viscera Seer, not the worst. Not really that good, but it's a card. Send in the ooze, and here comes a chump block. If our opponent doesn't chump, or if our opponent like lets it through a couple times, we can actually just sack our board to Viscera Seer and then grow this ooze real big. It's pretty risky against a removal spell, though. Yeah, I'm assuming our opponent is just going to get a white source here in case they draw Lingering Souls. And hopefully this is not a removal spell for ooze. Loam targeting Catacombs, Delta, and Marsh Flats. Well, let's eat Catacombs. Oh, let's eat Polluted Delta. And I'm going to eat Marsh Flats. Just brick that life in the loam, thanks to the power of Scavenging Ooze. It's a very powerful spell. And yep. Draw Eternal Witness, sweet. Alright, well, let's go for the kill here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Attack here. Add a green and exile Wall of Roots to present a lethal clock here. Yep, and our opponent just GG'd us. So, all right, we ended up winning that match to go 2-2. Not the best record. Not terrible, but definitely not the kind of record where you're just like, yeah, this deck's just the best thing ever. Granted, I do think the deck's really good, but could still use some work and maybe isn't quite there yet. So. Thank you all for watching, though. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video either way. There were some very interesting games. We got to kill our opponent on turn 3 twice. Once was a kill, once was infinite life. We got to do some sweet things, and we got to get destroyed by Amulet and have a reasonably close match against Affinity. But thank you all for watching, and let me know in the comments what you think about the deck, about the matches, etc. And hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you the next time I do this.